Hey guys, alright, Iron Body Martial Arts here, and as you may know, I run a channel regarding traditional methods of Kung Fu conditioning and other martial arts conditioning and strength training. I also test out products and review the odd product when I see fit, so I thought I'd review these Nike 5.0 free run shoes, or free barefoot sort of style shoes. Which I got probably about more than a year ago now. They're still looking in good nick. So that's the first thing I'd like to say. Let's start with the shoe. It's made out of this like elastic fabric, which is actually really tough. I thought it would degrade, but I've had them for like a year and they're still going strong. And the elastic hasn't lost its sort of tension, which is good. Now the whole shoe with this elastic, you buy it a couple of sizes down and it sort of squeezes your foot, and then you tighten these laces, which are just held on by, I don't know if you can see, they're held on by like little threads, and it's kind of, if I can zoom in on it, there we go, can you see them there? It's kind of cross-laced, so that when you pull the lace, it kind of tightens the whole shoe, if you can see, and it draws in on the elastic fabric, and it really that's the basis of the support for the shoe, that this elastic squeezes the bones and then these tighten and it kind of holds everything in place. So with that regard, it's really good. Support wise, I think it goes down in number from 5 to 3 to whatever. So I guess you could say this is the sort of intro to the free running shoe. I've got actual full barefoot running shoes because I'm a bit of a fan of barefoot running, because the whole running technology is taking a sort of step back, and it's going from like loads of support back to trusting what nature intended, and perhaps just having to train a bit more slowly, and run shorter distances. But obviously I'm not some big running master or anything like that, but I've always been an avid fan of the barefoot running scene, although I'm not the biggest fan of actually running, marathons and this, that and the next thing. So if you want that sort of advice, go to some marathon running channel or magazine. There's plenty of magazines. But anyway, I'm talking about this for sort of general running, martial arts, etc., that I do. But obviously there's a lot of running in martial arts, I suppose, conditioning, developing cardio. Anyway, going on, the sole is cool. It's kind of, as you can see, it's kind of all bent like this, and you think, oh, that's going to feel weird, but when you put it on, it feels flat and good. It's based on this Kenyan Ethiopian design. I used to live in Kenya, and I laughed when I saw these, because basically the locals used to get a car tire, cut the sole off of it, and wear those as shoes. And as you'll probably know, the Ethiopians and Kenyans are some of the best runners in the world. So what they've done is, copying that simplicity, they've done this cross sort of design, and the sort of the theory behind it is that because these all aren't fused, it allows the foot to flex in the natural way, i.e. not just up and down, but left and right. And individual bits of the shoe flex a bit more like the human foot, which is meant to give you sort of greater stability, more of the barefoot feel, and it works really well, I must admit. Okay, support-wise, when I first got these, obviously with free running shoes, sorry about that, with free running shoes I thought, sorry, not free running, with barefoot running shoes I thought that, there'd be like next to no support. I was actually very surprised at how much support there is in these shoes. So even if you've got sort of issues with shin splints and foot, and you're a bit worried about having no support, I'd say you can actually buy these, and they're really supportive and good, and the sole's really nice. So you wouldn't have to worry there. But then, as I said, they are the entry-level shoe, I think. The footbed's good. It comes out. I'll take this one out. The footbed comes out so you can wash it. I just wear them with bare feet, so I have to wash them quite a lot. But the footbed comes out nicely. It's a strong design. You know, I wash them regularly, but that's a year. That's sort of like a year of use, and it's still good. You can see from my foot impression there that the barefoot sort of technology. But don't forget, I said I sort of do barefoot running anyway. It makes you tread lightly, doesn't it? Because you know, if you looked at sort of a standard person's inner sole maybe who didn't do barefoot running, you know, there'd probably be a much deeper impression of their foot in there. You know, there'd be like the sole would be nearly worn away, etc., etc. But as you can see, most of the wear or most of the impression on this is actually on the forefoot. And that's where this sort of barefoot running technology is going, you know, focusing more on the forefoot strike and stuff. Yeah, the inside is just like a rubber. It's good, it's strong, it's easy wash. There's some sand in there from the beach. Yeah, and the other thing is, I don't know if you can just about see it there, but there's a little patch or something there that you can pull out, and you can put some kind of chip in there. I don't know, Nike have it on their website. I've never bothered with that because you can get phone apps now for it, but apparently you can put some fancy chip in there and it does all sorts of wonderful things. So yeah, in general, good support, even though you might not think it. A good entry level into the barefoot running shoe. I wear it without socks. It's a couple of sizes down, so it really squeezes your foot. I like it for running. I like it for general wear. I'm not such a big fan of these kind of trainers or any kind of trainers for actual martial arts practice, because I don't know, they're molded and they seem to be made for running. You know, they're curved and everything like that, and they sort of bend to the left and bend to the right. But for actual martial arts training, I just enjoy either bare feet or just a flat shoe, rather than like a fancy shoe. Because when you're doing your stances, because of the shape of the trainer, I think it kind of makes you. Obviously, when you're doing your stances, you have to pay attention to where your knees are, where your feet are, and I think these fancy shoes kind of make you lose track of exactly where your toes are. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but as a general martial arts training shoe, it's very light, so it'd be a great shoe for all sorts of kicking and kicking practices and all sorts of different practices. But I don't so much like these as martial arts training shoes. I just prefer like a flat shoe, like the Feiyu shoe. The Feiyu sell. It's a Chinese make used in Kung Fu and Wushu. It's just like a flat shoe with a wide sole. Simple. I prefer simple. Simple is best. But anyway, guys, for the actual base price of these, they're like £100 and something in the UK. I think they're worth it, but I never paid that for mine. I got mine like half price, even less than half price. I think they were like 30 quid, 40 quid on some sale. Maybe people didn't like them, I don't know. But I can't honestly say that had I been there on that day and they were 100 and something quid, I would have bought them. I wouldn't. Now that I've used them, I might have. But that's kind of like a bit of a juxtaposition there, isn't it? It's kind of like, yeah, it's confusing what I'm saying. But what I'm kind of trying to say is, I'm trying to say they are worth the money, but I know that I wouldn't have paid that much money for them now. And I still think I wouldn't have, even now, I wouldn't pay that much money. So I'd say they're a good shoe if you can get them on sale somewhere. Geez, I mean, you can't really put a value on a good shoe because shoes are so important. A lot of people forget that. But that said, 100 and something quid, you know, I don't know, what is that? $200 or the top end of $200 for me is just like too much money for a shoe. But maybe you guys think differently, I don't know. So I wouldn't like to advise people to go and get it and spend like their $200 on the shoe, and then they can't come back to me and be like, man, you're an idiot telling me to spend $200 on these. I'm saying to you, I got them for like 30, 40, 50 English pounds. So what's that? I don't know, $60, $70 or something like that, say. Very rough conversion. And I think they're worth that. So I'm sure you can get them on the internet, you can get them on sale. and yeah, a good shoe. A good shoe. Excuse me. So yeah, guys, if you've got any more questions about them or whatever, just pop along to the channel, send me a message. I mean, there's not a lot to say really. It's a shoe, but yeah. Anyway, keep well. Good training, guys.